an elemental shaman card, to be honest.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to see.
Camo, I see you chomping at the bit, man. How are you feeling about this series tonight, dude?
I don't know.
Against a very strong
I'm looking
multi-classer.
to see what Randy's
I'm
gonna do,
hoping
to
he
be
pulls out
honest.
an elemental shaman card, to be honest.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like
Fun
to
to
see
see.
Muskie break out the Guardian, but
Yep. I see you
I
chomping
don't
at the
know. We'll see.
series tonight, dude.
Uh,
Guardian will definitely be juicy if he comes out and brings that in full
so
force.
Randy-
Be looking forward to that. Okay, good, nice one. Sorry, when you have feedback. Okay, good. Guardian, I think that the thing is with Guardian is that they have been perfecting and trying out a lot of different comps, and I think that there's something to be said for that. Wouldn't you say, like, for a whole team to be able to, like, look, not only are we doing well, but we're gonna test the limits of the meta. We're gonna figure out what comps work well. What can we do? You know, anything from 4 healing with a Guardian Mage to running 3 healers, bringing in an Ellie Shaman as that 6th DPS slot. A lot of variety for these guys. And I think that, I mean, going into the series, I think that we have a clear advantage for Wildcard bitches having a huge advantage, in my opinion, going over Give Me Your Energy. Now, MVP, if you're in the shoes of Give Me Your Energy right now, what is your approach on this game, and how do you want to attack these guys?
I would just play kind of standard. I feel like both teams are very inconsistent. Like both teams can play like gods in one game, and then the match after that they'll play like a garbage can. So
You see a lot of okay.
yeah, both teams are very inconsistent. Like they can play really good the one game, and then the next game they'll flop because they get too confident.
Now, from my perspective too, I feel like Gimme Your Energy, they're one of these teams right now in the NWL where, Gino, everyone knows Gino. Gino's a good guy. He's in here to have fun, but they're trying to find their foothold and what comp's working for them. Actually, the last time we saw him play, they were playing UGGTW, and they pulled out like 4 heals with a Destruction Warlock, and it actually wasn't half bad. I mean, it was one of their better looks so far, which sounds really goofy, but they had a lot of sustainability in mid. They ended up not being able to cover the objectives very well. So, when I look at Give Me Your Energy, one of the strongest cards for them is having Randy Leahy on an FC. And I think he's one of these FCs that's so shifty, you just can't keep track of him. And he does things that you would not expect, and that you're like, there's no way this could possibly work. He won't do it, and he does it. And it kind of like throws that mind game at you where like sometimes you're like, okay, Randy, that was pretty dumb, man. But then other times, like, he actually does it, and you're just like, oh my god, like, he got through mid. Like, what? So,
Yeah.
I think he's their biggest, put it at, I guess, the wild card destroyer, almost like that. He's the wild card for Give Me Your Energy. Like, if he wanted to have the wild card FC, he's on the wrong team. You know what I mean?
He's
Yeah,
the
okay.
trap card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Randy. He's awesome.
Now, if I had to take a guess, coming into the series from a wild card perspective, from being on wild card bitches, I have to imagine that they're probably going to be running some really goofy stuff the whole night, trying out different comps, and I wouldn't be surprised if they changed their comp every single game, no matter the score. I would
I
not be
agree.
surprised. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like they love trying new stuff. I saw they were trying out Ellie Shaman for a bit.
Yeah.
So they might pull that out, but yeah, I think they're not gonna play with it in the start. I think they're just gonna try to get like a win first before they pull out.
Oh, you think they're gonna pull out? You think they're gonna go with something standard, and then once they get a win under their belt, then they're gonna start. It's gonna start
Yeah, they
getting
might.
mucky.
Like they might like go with
Okay.
the safer approach. Because I don't know how confident they are in the Ellie Shaman.
Oh, they are confident. I just talked to Muskie before the game.
Uh,
He
I
loves
feel
it.
like they're overconfident. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
Always
okay.
when
confident.
someone is like too confident with like their ability to perform, and then as soon as they're supposed to perform, they don't do it because they were overconfident.
Okay.
So I got a feeling that they're not going to play with an Shaman the first game, and then
Okay.
see how it goes, and then after that they'll fuck around.
Now, going off of what you said right there, like you're saying, like they might come in overconfident. They might, they might try out some things and see what happens. In a series like this, for me in particular, I feel like they have a pretty strong advantage over Give Me Your Energy. But I think progressively, Give Me Your Energy has been getting a little bit better, working through some of the kinks, but they got a lot of things that they got to progress on. To me, like, coming from like a team leader standpoint, I would say like this is one of the best opportunities to try things. So I would like, from my perspective, I would almost say like the exact opposite. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they like came out and like ran the Ellie Shaman first comp, and then the other thing that Muskie's team does a lot is they're one of the teams that'll run base to base. And I would not be surprised even if they won the first game and dominated mid if they went base to base the second game just to do it. I would not be surprised. I mean, Yowza, you playing a lot of these like real IDs, like that wouldn't be out of character for them, I don't think.
I mean, typically, if they cannot control the midfield, of course they're gonna swap it up and they're gonna run the O and D strat. But my how I feel, what they're gonna do is just like what you guys were pointing out before. Wildcard, they're gonna run the standard comp. Eventually, as the series progresses, they're gonna get more confident. They're gonna start jumping on other things. They feel like they're gonna take the entirety of the series. Of course, they're gonna win it all, so they're gonna keep jumping from class to class, whether they win or lose. And as far as Gino's guild, Give Me Your Energy, I think they're struggling to find their mojo, so they're gonna be swapping players around. They're gonna be swapping compositions, like what you said earlier, the Destro lock. They're gonna be just rotating, trying to get the groove on.
And I think that one thing that even we were talking about like before the series started earlier tonight is when we were looking and previewing the rosters for both teams is, Gino's team, like Give Me Your Energy, their roster from the start of the season to now is completely different. Even though you may not recognize a lot of the faces, they've gotten a lot of new players too. So not only are they trying to swap comps, figure out what kind of team they want to play, like 4 heals, 3 heals, do they want to play mid, do they want to play base to base, they're also swapping around personnel too. Camo, what do you think? What is the biggest factor that you would like to see them clamp down on as a unit for Give Me Your Energy? What would you like to see them iron out? If there's one thing where they're like, this is something you can expect every night, whether that's their roster, whether that's their play style, whether that's composition or team leadership, what would be the most important thing you think for Give Me Your Energy to lock down and clamp down on?
Well, I think it all starts with any team. It starts with at the leadership, and if you don't have a good leader who can lead in midfield and call out targets, you're not going to be able to get any kills. You're just going to be in your GY the whole game, and I think that's why Give Me Your Energy and Gino's guild has been struggling, because they don't really have anyone. Like, no one comes to mind when I think of a leader on their guild. Obviously, Gino's the guild leader, but I don't know if he's the one calling targets or not. So I don't know. It all starts from the top.
No,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I played with Give Me Energy for like an NWL pre-med, I think, like last season or something, or maybe this season. I'm not sure actually. Well, at some point I did, and it was pretty sloppy on the calls at that point. And obviously Gino is still on the team, right? So,
Oh yeah.
He's gonna make the calls now if he didn't do it back then, And even if he's gonna do it, I don't think he's improved a lot because he hasn't practiced a lot. Like Wildcard has played a lot, like pre-mates, and practiced a lot the past couple, like 2-3 weeks. While I haven't seen Give Me Energy play more than 1 game, practice games.
They have, outside of the NWL, there's really like only a handful of teams that are playing games, but the teams that are playing a lot. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, Muskie's team plays a ton of games, and whether or not they have their full team on every day, it doesn't really matter as much. They got their core group of guys there every night, and they're subbing in a few players, but they got a lot of synergy under their belt. And I feel like for a team like Give Me Your Energy, like, they could take all the games they can get that extra practice, get that extra synergy. In particular, one thing that I do like is that one swap that they did made in their last series is they actually got Gino over on a BM Monk, if people remember the last series when they went and played UGGTW. And I feel like if anyone is going to be out there calling targets in mid, like, it just feels right for it to be Gino on a BM Monk, because it's like, you can't call targets on a warrior. I mean, you can, but then, like, it's like not your job, It's like you're taking away from the limits of the class and what you're supposed to be doing and trying to overcompensate for what your team needs leadership-wise. You guys kind of feel that vibe there?
I feel like as soon as their job is completed from like a boomkin or a warrior perspective. Once you focused on your spread pressure, your damage, everything is all set to go. Then at that point you can start calling single target pressures, swaps, whatnot. But until you establish your pressure, then it's up to someone else. For example, like a brewmaster or a hunter.
Yeah. And I feel like for that team in particular, I feel like Gino's the vocal guy for them. You know, he's just always talking. Everyone knows Gino. He talks all the time. So I feel like that's a really good move, and that was a smart move in the right direction, I think, for their entire team. And sometimes, like especially right now in the meta, I feel like a lot of times you have to put the right person, personality-wise, on the right class. So if you put in a vocal person who wants to be a team leader and you're having him like heal on a Resto Shaman, like what the heck? Like why are you having him heal on a Resto Shaman? Or, you know, you got someone that's stuck on an FC and is just biting at the chomp saying, oh, I wish I could call midfield right now. Like I would be in that position. Like I fall into that category. I hate not calling midfield unless like I'm confident in whoever's calling mid, because it's such an important role in pre-mades nowadays. Getting people in the right classes. Let's go into like final predictions here. We got this series coming up pretty soon. Let's go round table. Yowza, MVP, Camo. Yowza, how do you feel about the series tonight? What do you think that we're going to see score-wise from these 3 games, and what do you expect them to play out as?
I think Give Me Your Energy might establish a cap or two. Maybe Wildcard, for sure they're going to take the series. Other than that, I don't know. I hope both teams have fun and just find their groove in things.
MVP, how you feeling?
I feel like Wildcard is gonna take the series, but just because Wildcard has been practicing a lot more than Give Me Energy has been doing the past couple of weeks, and Give Me Energy is doing like rapid roster changes. But I still feel like Give Me Energy can compete because, as I said before, both teams are very inconsistent. So, as soon as they get that morale boost or whatever, like they get a cap and then they get bonus and stuff, then
The other thing I'm thinking of, I just thought of too, is like maybe like let's say that Wildcard takes the first 2 games, right? And they're changing comps every time. They're getting a little bit more greedy. They're bringing out like 2 healers, going base to base. Like maybe by that 3rd game too, they're getting more practice under their belt, GMYE, and maybe they get overconfident. They bring out some comp that really shouldn't work, and maybe GMYE punishes them for it too, something like that. Camo, final thoughts, man. You're the anchor. Bring us home. How are you feeling about this series?
I think what's it called? Muskie's wildcard bitches. They're gonna win 3-0. I think Randy can get a cap or two, as Yowza was saying, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. I'd like to see GMYE like run the same 10 players in the same comp. Like Muskie's team is gonna run like many different things. I think if GMYE wants to win like a game, maybe they have to stick with the same thing all 3 games and just try and build some synergy and like improve on the mistakes and try and fix them to maybe try and get a win. But I think they have to play something standard if they're going to try and win, because Muskie's going to bring so many different things to the tables.
They're going to have to... I agree with you. I agree with all you guys. They're going to have to cheese a cap, cheese some games. It's going to be rough. I think Wildcards are the heavy favorite in this, but maybe Randy can bring them home. Maybe they can find their synergy, their newfound BM Monk and Gino. Let's see if he even brings it out tonight. Maybe he changes it. I don't know. So unpredictable, but looking forward to the series tonight. We will be coming back live in a few minutes for the games here, so stay tuned, guys. Peace.